the last response type which we have in our possible options is the accordion response type. Now on first glance you can see that the accordion response type is just a way for you to collapse some information so that it doesn't take up too much space on the chat widget unless the user wants to see the whole thing. So let's take a look. You can have this accordion type, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to add this show accordion type, and I'm going to have show me accordion, and then let's delete this, add a custom payload, and let's come back here, copy this stuff, paste it over here and save it, and that's pretty much it. That's what we have. And if you were to go to the web editor and say show me accordion, you can see that it's got this title and subtitle, and you click on it, it has collapsed that information, and you have a list, just more information show up, and then you can click on this again and it's sort of collapsed back to its old state. So this is the basic idea behind the accordion feature. And if you were to say like, okay, so that's not exactly a major feature, what's the big deal with that? I actually found out something really surprising, and I'm just going to point out right now that I'm not sure if it's a bug or it's a feature or it's something which is just a beta feature which maybe it was intentionally added here but it would be removed in the future. But here's what I noticed, and it's not even mentioned in the documentation, so I'm not sure what's going on there. You can see that there are all these fields, and then you have this text field in the rich content. It's one of the fields that you have in your accordion control. And as it turns out, this text field is very unique amongst all the fields that you have, all the text fields that you have in all the response types. And why is that? That's because this text field actually supports HTML inside of it. So to show you what that means, I'm going to go back here, and in this accordion text what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have an inline hyperlink. So this is an inline hyperlink. So let's do that, and a href equals something, and let's close the tag, and I'm going to go to Google, and to make it easier, let's do a target equals underscore blank so that it opens in a new window, and let's save it. Right, so now I have this well-formed HTML inside of the text field in my accordion control. So let's go and see what this looks like, and if I were to click on it, show me accordion, and notice you can see that it has this is an inline hyperlink, right? And if I click on it, there you go, it goes to Google. And what I've seen is that it actually supports, I think it seems to support all the markdown elements, markdown HTML elements. So to show you an example, let's just do this, right? Like I'm going to add a paragraph break, and then I'm going to add let's say I'm going to add a bold-faced, this is bold-face text, and let's close it, and then add another paragraph line break, and then let's do some italics. This is italics, close it, right, and then have another line break, and then I might have a strike through, close it, something like that. So let's save it, and let's see how much of this loads as we might expect it. So let's go to the page, open it here, and say show me accordion. Have this guy. So notice, so I think it has done the boldface. That's not very obvious, but it's slightly bolded. It is definitely working with the italics. The strike through is also working, and I tested it before. I think that it also supports things like lists, unordered and ordered lists. And one more thing that it supports is images, in fact. So you can have image source equals something, and then close the tag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this image I used in the previous lesson and take that and paste it here. And I'm going to also make sure that I add a line break after that so that it looks a little better. And let's go back to the agent here, and let's see, show me accordion. And there you go. So you can see that there's your image, and then there's the text, and it does look like it's somehow like the arrangement doesn't seem to be very nice, and I'm not sure what's going on with that. It seems to, first of all, it seems to center the image automatically, and the text seems to be automatically left aligned, but the base of the image is on the same line as this accordion text. Oh, you know what? I think that was me. Okay, I made this mistake. So let me delete that. Now save it, and let's try it again. I think this might look much better. So let's go there. Show me accordion. There we go. Yeah, there you go. So this is, yeah, you had this image showing which is left aligned, and then you have all those the hyperlink and the boldface text, the italics and the strike through. So it seems to support a lot of these regular markdown elements. And so this is sort of like an information card, isn't it, with the title and a subtitle, and if you click on it, it's just going to show all this additional information. And it doesn't have a way to, I mean, the whole element cannot become clickable, but you can see that individual items like this hyperlink is actually clickable. If you do click on the whole thing, it's a toggle, it's a collapse and expand. That's what happens when you do that. So this is the feature of the accordion response type. I did experiment with adding YouTube iframe, like an embedded YouTube object, and that did not work, unfortunately. I also tried to just see if I could insert some JavaScript into that, just to see if there's some way to like sort of inject any script into the HTML, and that also got stripped out. So with the fact that it's actually proactively stripping out JavaScript and also not allowing embedded objects and things like that, makes me wonder if this is a legitimate feature and not just some kind of a bug which somehow like sneaked into the code. So at the moment, I'm not sure what to recommend. I guess you have to wait until they officially say that this is actually supported. That is, the accordion type, the text field in the accordion type actually supports like regular HTML. Until they make an announcement, I would not use HTML inside the accordion, because I'm not sure what's the reason why just this response type alone permits HTML, while all the others, they just if you have HTML in the text fields of the other other response types, they just show with the tag. Like if you want to see an example, let me show you. So if I were to go to the, let's say that we go to the info type, right, which has some, I don't remember what's the name of it. Let's go there. So the info type actually has the title. I think this is not good enough. Let's go for the description, right? So this has text. So if I were to go to the description type, it has some text here, and let's say that I try to just add an inline hyperlink here. and save it, right? So we have this well-formed HTML inside the description type over here. Now I'm going to run the agent and say show me description. So you can see what happened. It's actually just rendering the entire text along with the HTML. It's not like converting the HTML and rendering it with the appropriate transformation. So this is true for all the other elements, all the other rich response types that is in the Dialogflow Messenger, except for the accordion, which for some reason supports pretty much all the HTML options that you see in Markdown flavors. So that's what I have observed, and again, as I said, I don't still know if this is just a bug or this is an intentional feature which they just haven't announced yet. So I would just wait for them to actually make an announcement before I'm using it, because you never know whether it will be permanent, and if you build something based on it and then it gets taken away, obviously that could be a big problem. So that's the rich response types. Those are the list of rich response types which are supported by the Dialogflow Messenger integration.